So we just heard from Vince about the project here. They've been HuntPro customers for 2 years now. We're running trail camera survey data, all of our harvest data, observation data. It's been a really terrific tool for them and for me as their advisor. We have already aged all the jawbones and put all that data into the mobile app Harvest Log for population or for data analysis. But I want to walk you through a couple of tips on aging a whitetail deer's jawbone through tooth replacement and tooth wear. Now, these are just some tips. There's a wealth of information on this subject available through the National Deer Association, NDA, deerassociation.com, our partners, formerly Quality Deer Management Association, that you can find online through their newsletter and even books that they provide. So I'll tell you to check them out to really get in depth with jawbone aging. But let's look at a few of these jawbones and talk about what we look at and how we estimate the age. So when a deer comes into the game shed, we extract a jawbone using an extractor tool or other methods, and we clean them up and store them in a fish basket, any type of basket that you can hang up so that animals can't get into it. And they'll dry and cure, and then they're much easier to look at and handle and assess age at the end of the season. So I have a few of our jawbones here. Let's start with what is a yearling. And the reason I know is this tooth is tricuspid, as we call it. It has 3 cusps instead of 2. As a fawn, they'll have this called a milk molar, this 3-cusp tooth. It will erupt and be replaced with a permanent bicuspid molar at a 1.5 years. Also, this back molar is a permanent molar. As a fawn, that would not be there. It has fully erupted. So what we have here is a yearling or 1-year-old deer that has not yet pushed out that milk molar to replace it. But because this permanent back molar is in this, as you can see, there's even a little bit of eruption starting. You can maybe not see on the video. This would be replaced in this year 1 for this yearling deer. So what we have here is a 2-year-old, 2.5, whatever you prefer. And the reason that I know this is the milk molar is gone. We have a permanent bicuspid molar as the 3rd tooth down. This back permanent molar, there's a last little cusp here, which the best way to describe it is if it'll hold a drop of water. It's got a kind of a cavity there. If that'll hold a drop of water, you're generally looking at a 2-year-old. But then we start looking at the width of the dentin or dentine, which is the dark stain in the middle of the tooth, compared to the white enamel on the outside of the tooth. And if that dentin is not as wide or is not wider than the outside white enamel part, then you stop at this tooth, and we call this a 2-year-old deer. And you have several age classes between the two, and what I have here, which is a quite an old deer. As you can see, the dark stained dentin is wider, much wider than the outside white enamel on the ridge of the tooth. All the way down, this would be year 3, year 4, year 5. And even at 5, that dentin is quite a bit wider than the outside enamel. So from here, it gets a little bit of a guessing game. After you look at enough of these jawbones and have tracked the deer that you're aging and know that it's a certain age, you'll get better with that. But what I would call this deer is 7 plus, could be 6, but it's definitely a much older deer. So that's it, just a few tips and pointers on aging the jawbone of a whitetail deer based on tooth eruption and tooth wear. Again, I invite you to visit our friends at NDA, National Deer Association, and find volumes of information on this and many other subjects about whitetail deer management. Check us out at huntpro.app. I really would invite you to take a look at HuntPro and what this platform how it can change the game for anyone using any trail camera, up to your more serious management projects like this one, even research. So find us there, subscribe to our newsletter, and we'll see you again here soon.